Monday, March 25th, 2024. I call this meeting of the Clear Creek Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called, that its notice has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Our first item on the agenda is going into closed session. And so at 6:01, the board will now move to closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001, concerning purposes permitted by the Act, including 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, and 551.074, deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignments, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee, or to hear a complaint or charge against an employee. 48, and I call us back into open session. The next item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance.
We have some friends from Victory Lakes Intermediate. Are y'all here? Come on up. He's gonna take the mic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Now time for a moment of silence. Now you may be seated.
Great, Joe. Wait just a minute. Y'all stay up here for a minute. All right. So here, y'all turn around. We're going to let everybody see you, okay? Just for a minute. And tell us what organization you're in.
No.
Are you all in the same organization? Okay. And what would that be?
Student Council.
Student Council. What do you enjoy about Student Council?
I enjoy the activities we get to do in the meetings. They're very fun, and the stuff we plan for the school.
Is your sponsor here?
Yes, we have Miss Zanier. She's our student council leader and school librarian.
Aw, thank you so much, and the sponsors make it fun, don't they? Thank you for that extra time. We really appreciate that. Anybody else? Something you enjoy about Student Council? You get together and you do activities too for the school, right? Yeah, so what's one thing you've done for the school?
We have done a rodeo day, and we get to dress up, and then we would have an advisory class where we get to teach line dancing.
Wonderful, how fun. Well, that is great, and that sets the culture and the tone for this school. We are so glad you're getting involved and being leaders in your school. Thank you so much, and thank you for all of that. Great job. Okay, so we have a lot of celebrations tonight, and we begin with deputizing 2 officers. Clear Creek ISD is a very safe place to learn and work. I am grateful for our strong partnership with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office, led by Sheriff Henry Trocheset, and our Captain Julius Campbell. Hello, Sheriff. In addition to the officers we have on our schools every day, we also have 2 4-legged officers, and they are here with us tonight. And Sheriff Trocheset is going to lead us through the deputization of Blue and Lulu. But first, we have a video.
Safety is Clear Creek ISD's top priority, and that's why you may see these new faces walking around campuses.
He's my partner, he's my friend, but he knows once we get in the police car, he's ready to work. He's ready to find explosives in case we get that call to go look for some in the school district.
This is Blue and Lulu. They're the newest members of the school liaison officer team here in CCISD.
Okay, let's go. Come on, babe.
Lulu and her partner, Deputy Felipe Balmares, are trained to find weapons and explosives. And Blue and his partner, Deputy Nathan King, are trained to find narcotics.
It's just another tool that the district has to make sure that the kids are safe, make sure all the parents can know for sure that they're aligned with all the CCISD core values, where they're able to know that their kids are safe and secure.
The dogs train several times a week, becoming familiar with each campus and learning what to look for.
We train in vehicles, we train in school environments, in cargo areas. We go to Challenger Stadium. Every offices, everywhere in the district we go, for the dog to know where to train.
Like, we train minimum 8 hours a week, but usually more.
The officers say the new additions are just another layer of protection for the staff and students across CCISD.
It's essential for this district because it just takes that one time where there's a bomb threat called. We have to be sure the kids are safe and the students and faculty.
We're here to help the students, to help protect the students and the staff, and I hope they see that we're here to help the students.
Honored to have Sheriff Troshis, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, thank y'all very much for having us, and you'll see it's going to be a great attachment, and these canines here, very well trained. Matter of fact, I'm going to promote them tonight to corporal because they'll be leading their trainers around, so they're going to be in charge of their trainers. So if you want to pin your dog, outside I tried to say if they could raise their right paw, but only one of them listened, so I didn't want to embarrass them. Congratulations to both of y'all. They may be a great asset to the school, and from time to time we may have to call and borrow them, especially in time of need, especially the one that during dove season.
Well, and everybody wants a picture, so we are going to all gather together.
Well, come in closer.
Thank you, Captain. Yeah. All right. Yeah. We are so grateful for the partnership and the continued focus on safety in our schools, and we're very grateful for that. Well, moving from safety to spelling bee winners. For the second year in a row, Luke Wynn from Brookside Intermediate has been crowned as the Clear Creek ISD Spelling Bee champion. Luke won in the 16th round of the competition on February 10th after correctly spelling the word goatee. Sophia Tyndall, a sixth grader from Creekside Intermediate, was the runner-up. And just this past weekend, Luke competed in the 2024 Scripps Regional Spelling Bee at Houston Community College, and he's a veteran. So, Luke, would you come on up? Okay, Luke. So We're going to turn around so you can tell everybody. All right, so you just went to the Scripps Spelling Bee, right?
Right.
All right, regionals. How did you prepare?
Me prepare.
Yes.
I studied.
Oh, you studied a lot? Did you study a lot? Or any more than that?
Well, yes.
So how do you study? Here's my question. How do you study?
I used Word Club app.
So how did you do at the Scripps Spelling Bee?
Well, I got eliminated.
Oh, and what was the word?
Oh, the word? That was obratund.
What?
The word was obratund.
Okay, so how many can spell that in this room? So, and do you have a definition for it?
I forgot, but I remembered it was like spherical, a bit oblong or something.
Well, congratulations. We are so proud. You've represented Clear Creek ISD so well for a second year in a row. We're very, very proud. And we would like for, yes, come on up. Your principal's here. And yes. And there you go. We'll get a picture. Oh, good. It's here. Yes, let's do that. Dr. Florida. What did they give you when you won the district spelling bee? Did you get a medal or a trophy?
Well, I got
A trophy. Okay.
Okay, look right here. Ready. One more.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, we have some CCISD livestock show and auction celebrations. The 42nd annual CCISD livestock show and auction raised a total of $225,000 for high school students in the FFA program. Come on in. I would like to thank our CCISD Board of Trustees for their contributions and combined purchase of a swine, which we will enjoy soon, I promise. Yes, thank you. I would like to recognize our grand champions and reserve champions in each event. From Clearbrook High School, Angelina Burke, champion swine showmanship and reserve champion ag mechanics, thank you. And Scott Horsfield, champion heifer showmanship. Congratulations. And do you have any administrators here? Do we have anyone from Clearbrook? If we do, come on up. Ms. Speaks, there you go. Yes, congratulations.
Stay ready right here. One more. Thank you.
Perfect. Yes, congratulations. And and JT Buford is here. Do you have any of your instructors here? Oh yes, there you I'm so sorry. You're so young. I know. That's great. Well, we are so glad, and JT is in charge of this whole program, and he'll stay up here for every school. So thank y'all. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. And now we are moving on. Clear Creek High School. Alyssa Burris, Reserve Champion Pig. Brooke Garms, Reserve Champion Goat. Catherine Landrum, Best of Show Science. Kelsey Jowers, Reserve Champion Turkey. Sydney Grice, Champion Heifer. Sydney also received $10,000 at the San Antonio Livestock Show. Congratulations. And do we have any administrators or ag teachers? Are we up here? Yes. Thank you. Ms. Ford? Congratulations. All right, Clear Falls High School. Andre Martin, Grand Champion Goat, and Grand Champion Broilers. Audrey, and I apologize for that, Audrey had the highest bid of the night with $8,700. Congratulations. Kaylee Hatcher, Best of Show Floral Design. Mercy Hughes, Best of Show Visual Arts, and Ryan Hall, Grand Champion Ag Mechanics. Do we have any administrators from Falls or teachers? Well, thank you, Ms. Poe. Come on up. Right, in Clear Lake High School, Emery Perez, Reserve Champion Heifer and Champion Goat Showmanship. Audrey Alcorn, Champion Lamb Showmanship. Lauren Coco, Reserve Champion Broilers. Margaret Lynn, Reserve Champion Rabbits. And Michaela Anthony, Grand Champion Lamb. Any administrators? Yes, yes. Thank you, Ms. Raska. And y'all, as you're going, just a note, wait just one second, just a note that, you know, the way that they dress and when they're out, when you're showing, I mean, they are so professional. Everything, you'll just see them coming in that professional way. So thank you, and we appreciate your representation of all of us. And that goes for everybody, and there's still more to come. Thank you very much. We got more. All right, Clear Springs High School. Addison Shannon, Grand Champion Steer. Avery Henry, Grand Champion Pig. Avery Robinson, Grand Champion Rabbits. Colby O'Brien, Grand Champion Turkey. Gracie McGahee, Sophia Dykes, Reserve Champion Steer Showmanship. And administrators, or anybody here? Yes, thank you. All right, Dr. Scott is here. Congratulations. Yeah. Great job. And before you leave, so JT is like in charge of all this, and just wondering, what do you, these students and their instructors, I mean, and maybe instructor questions too, but really, what do you see, what kind of brings these students up to the top that they're able to be a grand champion, reserve champion? Do you see any commonalities in those students?
The commitment, dedication that they put into their projects, the time, and it's a passion. They found their passion in ag education, whether it be raising an SAE project, which is an animal project, or building an ag mech project. They're finding their passion, and we have great instructors that are igniting that within our students.
Thank you. Yes, and a leader. Thank you all very much. All right, next we're moving on to art. Houston Livestock Show Rodeo Art winners. Clear Creek ISD had 9 talented students whose artwork was chosen as winners in the 2024 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Art Program competition. Y'all can go right that way. Congratulations. Eliza Hoffman from Clear Springs High School won the Best of Show and the Grand Champion. Her artwork auctioned for $275,000. Yes, Grand Champion. Yes, and last year she was a reserve. Unbelievable talent. She's not able to be here with us tonight, but we have some amazing talent right here. Kara Clements and Mackenzie Scott from Clear Falls High School both earned gold medals. Ashina Moknoji from Clear Falls High School received a special merit. Anastasia Gonzalez from Clear Creek High School earned special merit. Shelmy Was from Westbrook Intermediate earned Best of Show. Fitz Solis from Creekside Intermediate earned Gold Medal. Connor Dorsey from Ferguson Elementary earned Best of Show. And Grace Hand from Ferguson Elementary earned a Gold Medal. So if you have administrators of any of these amazing students, Ms. Goldner, y'all come on up. Mr. Goodman, come on up. Yes. Lots of pictures. Okay, and these are a lot of talented artists. And before you go, did you go by the rodeo and see your art piece? Did you? Did you go more than once? Did anybody go more than once? No. Well, I went by to see him. Amazing. So how did it feel? Any comments on how it felt to have your artwork displayed with thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people walking by to see it? They're artists. They don't really speak. You speak through your artwork. Is that right? Is that right? Well, we are so impressed with what y'all did, and congratulations for having such an amazing display down at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Congratulations. Thank you. I promise lots of celebrations, right? But what amazing talent. Okay, we have a couple of UIL swim and dive qualifiers for state. Y'all come on in. Yes, come on in, team. And their coaches we see. We are thrilled. Coach Greer. Congrats to the following state qualifying swimmers and divers from CCISD. These athletes have put in hours and hours of hard work training to compete at this elite level. Qualifying for state swim and dive is a grueling task that requires you not to only win at the district level, but then compete against a very strong region to qualify. Earning a trip to state itself is a huge accomplishment, and we are so excited to say we do have a state champion from Clear Springs High School. Macy DeGroat won the 100-yard backstroke. Congrats to all the swimmers, divers, and coaches for their hard work and accomplishment this season. And we have tonight Emery Fitzharris and Jamie DeZuart. Is that correct? Did I get that sort of close? Does it work? Okay, sort of close. All right. Congratulations. We are so impressed. Okay, so we do have to ask just a question. All right. State swimming. So state swimming. Talk to us about that. The amount of time that you practice to get to that level.
I can't do the math right now. But so I only get a month break out of the year. So 30 days out of the year, so that's too many. But twice a day for 2.5 hours a day. So y'all can do the math.
Same with me, getting up 5:30 a.m., morning practice for high school, going through school, going to club practice after high school, so 2 times a day. Yeah.
So yes, Texas is a very elite state when it comes to swimmers. To make state in Texas is absolutely huge. And think about 5 hours a day swimming, and you do go to school. Yeah, see, and they probably do pretty well at school too. Yes. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm just going to throw that out, Yes, so talk about college.
Yes, so I am actually committed to Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, New Jersey to continue my education as a business major.
Yes.
Yes, I am planning to swim. He's a junior.
Yeah, so what are you thinking about?
I'm still exploring my options. I'm between swim and water polo at the moment, so just exploring, seeing where I can go.
Nice.
Oh, we couldn't let that go by. Too much practice and effort to get to that elite level. It's amazing. And finally, UIL wrestling qualifiers. Let's see. Hang on, I'm sorry. All right, am I? Okay. All right. Sorry about that. We have to get this right and do the best we can. UIL wrestling qualifiers. The following athletes earned a trip to state wrestling by qualifying first at the district meet and then qualifying at the regional meet. The road to state is tough. It's a tough one for wrestling in Texas. Here again, these athletes had to win multiple matches at the regional level to reach the state meet. Qualifying for the state meet alone is impressive, and we are excited to announce that Zaquan Nunn from Clear Springs High School. Oh, this is just Lake. Oh, sorry, team. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Y'all stand right there. So we only have one school at a time. We do have a state champion, but they all competed at state, so that's good. All right. So we're already at Lake. So I want to share names here. Clear Lake High School boys: Fernando Morales, Joseas Gutierrez, T. Anora, Tristan Forsman, Alex Adame, am I correct? Adame, Andrew Niemeyer, Britt Johnson, and Grant Bonson. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. And our girls, Sydney Peterson and Eris Nunez. Congratulations. All right, we already have our principal up here, and we are going to take Coach Greer, take a picture. I will ask one question. How long have you been wrestling? Who just started wrestling last year? Anybody here? A couple years ago? Or how long have y'all been wrestling? Somebody any more than 4 years? Tell me how long?
That's my 13th year.
13th year. Okay. Okay. So anybody beat 13? All right, we're going to check on that tonight. We got a few more coming in, all right? Congratulations, Grant, and great job. We are so impressed with you getting to state. Thank you. Okay, now Clear Creek High School. We have Clear Creek boys. That would be Jared Remington. And we have Clear Creek girls, Tatiani Cisco White. Am I right? Oh, great. Congratulations, Miss Orr. Been wrestling more than 13 years? Okay. I know. That's amazing. How many years? 11. 11? Oh, good. A little under? 1? Yeah, that's what I wonder. Do you plan to wrestle in college? Or do you know where you're going? But you plan on wrestling. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Great job. Okay, thank you. And thank you, coaches. All right, Clear Falls High School. We have Clear Falls High School boys, Braden Medea, am I right? Maida. And Clear Falls girls, Mina Castillo, Caitlin Tressler, and Sydney Layton. Ms. Poe, congratulations. Be part of this, right? We know. We need you to get the picture. How many years have you been wrestling? 4? 1 year. Anybody going to college next year? You got a few years left to go? Not for wrestling, okay. You've had enough. Well, congratulations on getting a state, both of you. Outstanding. Congratulations, coaches. And Clear Springs High School. All right, and I think this was the state champion, am I right? Zaquan Nunn, congratulations, and Jaden Kessler. And as I mentioned earlier, Zawan is a champion in the, help me out, is it the heavyweight class? Did I get that right? Okay, well, congratulations. We'll take a picture. So we do have to ask, what does it take to be a state wrestling champion, right? What kind of preparation did you do, whether it's mental or physical?
Really both. I do multiple sports, football, wrestling, and shot put, so it's all year round. And a lot of waking up early, 14-hour tournaments and stuff, so it does a lot to being a state champion.
So if you were going to, if either one of you, if you're going to advise kids that want to be wrestlers and they maybe want to, aspire to do the things that y'all have done, what's your recommendation?
Step outside the box. Don't just do wrestling. Do like multiple sports. Work in and outside of school. It won't be easy, but you'll make it there eventually.
Put in the work and don't make too much excuses.
I think we can drop the mic on that. Put in the work, don't make excuses, right? Great job. Congratulations, and thank you, coaches, too. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. A lot to celebrate tonight.
The next item on the agenda is our district update. Dr. Engel?
Thank you. Thank you, President Sanchez. And Clear Creek ISD will be holding an election on Saturday, May 4th for the District 4 Board of Trustees seat. The seat is currently held by Jeff Larson, who is running for a second term. Mr. Albert Whitliff is also running for District 4 for the District 4 seat, which is mostly in the Clearbrook High School attendance zone. Since the Harris County Clerk's Office will not enter into election services contracts with local government entities for the May election day, Clear Creek ISD will administer this election. Early voting begins on April 22nd at 2 locations, Clearbrook High School and the CCISD Education Support Center. Voting on Saturday, May 4th, Election Day, will be held at Ward Elementary and Westbrook Intermediate. The Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce will be holding a candidate forum for District 4 at the Nassau Bay City Hall on Thursday, April 11th at 5 p.m. Visit the Clear Creek ISD website, ccisd.net/elections for more information. Both Jonathan Cantrell, District At-Large Position A, and Jay Cunningham, District 5, were unopposed and therefore will serve another 3 years. Congratulations. I want to talk about district restructuring for a minute. We've seen a lot on the news regarding the financial challenges facing Texas public schools. Many schools across the state are facing declining enrollments due to maturing communities with fewer incoming kindergartners than graduating seniors, along with state funding that has not kept up with inflation. We are, however, in a much better position thanks to our community support in the bond and tax rate election we held last November. For decades, Clear Creek ISD has received the highest ratings for financial integrity. We are currently having budget meetings with every campus and reducing staffing as needed to align with enrollment and course selection, essentially right-sizing based on student enrollment. Since 2023, we have reduced approximately $9 million in the general fund through staffing reductions to align with current student numbers and needs. Here's what we are not doing. We are not increasing the ratio of students to teachers, and we are not cutting courses or programs unless student interest falls below ratio standards. Like I mentioned, our tax rate election for 3 additional pennies on the tax rate was significant and allowed us to balance the budget this year. So here's our opportunity. How can we continue to maintain fiscal responsibility and use these financial constraints to reduce cost and streamline services to our schools and students? We have done what all businesses do, prioritize our limited resources to our greatest needs. Our priority is to be true to our purpose, to support our schools, and have a high level of student success. And we will do that by shifting our resources and consolidating positions at the district level to streamline our support services while protecting the classroom. Everyone who is affected by this restructuring plan will retain their employment in Clear Creek ISD, and their talents will be maximized in new roles and responsibilities. I'm confident this plan will streamline and increase district efficiencies and reallocate district resources to better serve campus needs in the areas of special education and teaching support. For example, we heard from trustees and teachers directly that more support is needed to assist first-year classroom teachers with classroom management, and we are responding and adding classroom management coaching for all first-year teachers. We are also opening a CCISD Behavior Support Center for special education students with significant behavior needs that interfere with learning. This off-campus center will provide qualifying students at a high level of support and training, which will be led by our resident behavior expert, Mr. Tony Davila. A little bit about strategic planning. We will not let finances stop us from creating a bright future for our children in this community. I'm excited to continue to build upon our Vision 2030 plan, and right now, our progress looks like a strategic plan for 2530 will be ready for the April school board meeting. I would like to thank trustees for joining us on this endeavor with staff, parents, and community members. And we are graduating. Graduation is near. We are in spring event season. We saw all the celebrations tonight. We have many celebrations at our schools, pretty much daily. I encourage everyone to visit our website to see our calendar of events. This week, we kick off superintendent scholar events at each high school, and graduation ceremonies begin May 28th. And finally, a big spring event is the solar eclipse on Monday, April the 8th. This is a student holiday and teacher instructional planning day, and we look forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. The next item on our agenda is community input. The purpose of community input is for the entire board to receive feedback from citizens. The board will hear public comments but will not respond except as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act to respond to an inquiry by a member of the public or by a board member with a statement of specific factual information, a recitation of existing policy, or to deliberate a proposal to place a subject on an agenda for a subsequent meeting. Matters brought forth that require a response will be addressed by the superintendent as appropriate. All information received is subject to verification. Community input is scheduled for 30 minutes and has 2 forums. Those requesting to address the board in advance of the meeting are granted 3 minutes to address their topic, and those who sign up this evening prior to 6:30 are granted 1 minute. In a district our size, there will certainly be issues or topics which will understandably generate considerable interest from the public. It is important that members of our community be able to address the school board respectfully, without disruption, and without fear of intimidation from other attendees. On behalf of the board, the superintendent, and CCISD staff, we welcome your input during CCISD school board meetings. We request that everyone exhibit the respect and understanding each person rightfully deserves when addressing the school board during the public input portion of the meeting. Our first speaker this evening is David Lockard. David Lockard. Our next speaker is Erica Merrill.
Good evening. I'm here this evening to address the school board and community members about the continued concerns myself and other parents have about the deterioration of the Clear Lake High School's choir program. Should the district decide to address this severe staffing issue, the students and the community win. Students get the education they want and deserve and have a shot at college scholarships. When the district succeeds, home values increase, and so does community pride and participation. There is no downside to the district putting the needed staffing in place for the Clear Lake High School choir program. Our choir program canceled 2 of our 6 concerts this year due to lack of staffing. Our elite jazz performing group, the Soundwaves, their performances have been severely cut by more than 50%. That is our choir's #1 source of funding. Can you imagine a football team that cancels 50% of their games because they don't have enough coaches to support them? We all have budgets, most of us personally and professionally. So does the district. A budget is meant to safeguard what's most important. In the district's case, that should be educators. If positions for educators aren't being safeguarded, their priorities are out of order. The district level personnel making the staffing decisions for our choir programs are decades removed from teaching in the classroom, and most of them have their very own or share a full-time personal assistant. But our choir director cannot get an assistant for a 123 student program. As you'll hear from the other parents and student this evening, the district employees have continued to use the budget deficit and a broken ratio system to support their inaction. You'll hear how we've normalized students teaching other students because our director can only be in one place at a time, and there are more than 8 voice parts to be covered. Our current situation is unsustainable and unacceptable. Now, imagine a choir program where students are provided a music education with individual feedback and direction by educated choir directors. Imagine a program where students are supervised at all times in the classroom and after school for concerts, rehearsals, and competitions. That is all we're asking for. That's it. We've had it in the past. We no longer have it. We're asking for it again, and that's why we're here this evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Merrill. Danny Cracciolo. Thank you.
Good evening. Mike Tyson was quoted as saying, "Everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face." Clear Lake High School's choir program got punched in the face when their experienced and admired choir director, Jade Blakey, left last year. She left because the district was taking away her last resource, a part-time director who spent 1/3 of his time at Clear Lake High and 2/3 of his time at Clear Lake Intermediate. Jade was vocal with her concerns that a single director could not run a successful 6A choir program. When she wasn't heard, she was hired at Fort Bend ISD and has a full-time assistant director with a flourishing program. The district's solution to Miss Blakey's departure was to hire a brand new director for a 6A school and take away the part-time assistant Miss Blakey advocated to keep. Our choir program now has a new director who is not only learning the students, but is also learning the school and the district with no assistance or backup. Although educated, smart, caring, and hardworking, our new director cannot possibly be two people. He is only one person, which brings us to the lack of staffing. Because of need, our director has assigned upperclassmen who have an interest in pursuing a music education to teach and direct their peers. This stopgap measure has been so normalized that it now has a name: student-directed learning. We commend our director for doing everything he possibly can to keep the ship from sinking, but students deserve to have their music education come from professionals. We wouldn't ask students who want to become engineers to teach a math class and normalize it to a point that the student teaching time has a name. My son benefited from 2 full-time directors at Clear Lake High and is now in his 2nd year of pursuing a music degree. My daughter's choir program experience consists of having a concert where there is no one to direct the lighting and the lights in the auditorium stay on through the whole program. When our students went off campus for pre-UIL last week, one of the buses traveled without an adult because there was only one director and 2 buses. The seniors did their best to keep control of the issues on the bus, but it's not their job to handle behavioral issues. While undergoing the announced restructuring tonight, I am asking the district to add an additional resource for the Clear Lake High School choir program for classes during the day and for the after-school activities that support this 6A program. Our students deserve a music education. When provided the oversight and feedback they deserve, choir students learn confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crocchiello. Andrea Schultz-Wassam.
Good evening. My daughter is a freshman at Clear Lake High School. I'm here to talk about the understaffing of the district's fine arts program, and specifically choir. 4 years ago, Clear Lake High School had 2 full-time choir teachers. Then the district cut one of the positions to half-time. The next year, the part-time director spent only 1/3 of his time at Lake and the rest at a middle school. Last year, CCISD cut the assistant choir director entirely. Our director said that without an assistant, she could no longer run the program sufficiently. She voiced her concerns to the district, but they did not provide a solution. So our director, who had several years of experience as a head director, left the district. Now we have a new choir student. This is his first year as a choir director, and he is new to the district. Like our former director, he is unable to do the work of 2 people. Our students do not receive the individual instruction they need to reach their potential. During one class period, our director has 48 students grouped into 8 different voice parts. That means that we have one teacher working with these 8 different groups, and he is also responsible for the safety of these 48 students all at once. We are tired of watching our choir program fall apart. Several members of Lakes Booster Club have already voiced their concerns to the district. In his response, the district held a meeting with the choir directors from each high school. However, rather than address the staffing shortage directly, a district employee led what she described as a listening exercise. No solutions were offered. Understaffing is not a problem that can be solved with listening exercises. We need action. The district says that the budget won't allow further staffing of its fine arts program. They allow just one teacher for every 150 students, except for band, which has one teacher for every 100 students. The district has not explained why it prioritizes band over the other fine arts. Choir too should be a priority. These students deserve better. We are asking the district to take responsibility for its staffing problem. For the safety and education of our children, we ask that CCISD provide what it promises in its mission statement, a safe and nurturing environment for its students. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle Swasson. Tom Davis.
I'll change the subject for just a moment. I want to spend 3 minutes talking about a Leader in Me tie-in free to the district from a district resident, me. I'm a father of a Tiger alumnus and a Cardinal alumnus, both of whom are now in their 30s. That makes me old enough to be a Clear Creek grandpa. I thank the board and administration for all you do to support parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and the future of our boys and girls. I'm here to offer my support to all 45 campuses, by the way. Advanced copy for you guys, both board and administration. Not doing it blindly. So I'm here all 45 campuses now in order by mascot in alphabetical order. Go All-Stars, go Astronauts, go Bears, Navy Blue and Maroon, go Bears, Navy Maroon and Khaki, go Bobcats, go Bulldogs, go Cardinals, go Chargers, go Cobras, go Colts, go Cougars, go Coyotes, go Dolphins, go Eagles, go Explorers. Third of the way through now. Go Falcons, go Gators, go Giraffes, go Hawks, burgundy and blue, go Hawks, purple and black, go Hyde, silver and navy, go Jaguars, go Knights, green, black, silver, and white, go Mustangs, go Panthers, go Patriots, red, white, and blue, go Rangers, go Roadrunners, go Rockets, go Sailors, go Satellites, go Seagulls, go Soaring Eagles, go Spartans, go Stars, go Terrapins, go Thunderbirds, go Tigers, go Timberwolves, green, gray, and white, go Timberwolves, red and black, go Voyagers, go Wildcats, go Wolverines. Thanks for your true school spirit. I'm also here to make a gift of an old game made new to all campuses. Depending on the situation, I call it lead and follow checkers, win-win checkers, or no jump checkers. Checkers can be played on a traditional physical checkerboard, on a smartphone, or on any internet-connected device. Most of us are used to playing checkers competitively to conquer the board. This new version is about getting all 24 checkers kinged and seeing how quickly the leader and the follower can do it. It's compatible with the existing Leader in Me program in that it illustrates both start with the end in mind and think win-win. This game is ancient, so there's no copyright. I will be in touch with your campus leadership, with your permission, of course. And in closing, I want to again thank the board and administration for all you do to support parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and the future of our boys and girls. And I yield back to the subject at hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Kim Forster.
For the sake of time, I'm jumping into a bullet list of points intended to address imbalances of the continuously reiterated ratio of one teacher with 150 students for the choir program. 1, academic teachers often have 2 or 3 classes they teach more than once per day, while our choir director teaches 5 distinct classes, each with different abilities and different music. 2, one of the music periods has 48 students. This is way more than any other class my child has been in during her high school career, and it can result in chaos. 3, in an academic class, the teacher will teach the subject to the full group of students, and if they allow non-lecture time, the students are self-directed and working quietly on their homework. In comparison, in a choir class, each student has a different voice, needs to be heard and coached accordingly. The entire period requires full engagement. There's no way to be heard and coached. And there's no way for one person to work with all students, and there's not an easy way for students to work quietly on their own as practice is to sing out loud. 4, during football season, there were more than 5 or 6 coaches split up between buses to games. First, this means there were multiple chaperones per bus. 2, this also means the football team had multiple coaches coaching specific parts for the team. In comparison, during pre-UIL last week, there were 0 adults on each bus, with the exception of the bus driver. First, we know chaperones are required, and the Booster Club is being recruited to supply adults for the upcoming UIL trip because the school isn't able. Second, can I just call out the parallel from coaching the various football positions to what is required for the varying voice parts in choir? 6, music theory has been used to tip the scales for the ratios, which makes the ratio arbitrary, and I would argue it's time to bring it back to choir if that is what would get us our second person. 7, Creek did the best of any other CCISD schools at All-State, the only school with more than one director in the district. 8, dance has 2 teachers. Are there 150 students in dance? 9, what does band get? Why does band get a more favorable ratio of 1 in 100? No one has been able to explain this in a way that makes sense. 10, recruitment is important based on these numbers. However, the situations presented make it impossible to put time and effort into recruiting, and the difficulties of the year have resulted in students not returning next year. Ratios can be a good measurement of financials, but losing 20 students does not reduce the amount of work for a choir director. It is unethical to expect one person to work as much as is required for this program. Seasonal increases are understood, but this is unending. While we understand and can empathize with the budget crisis, how did CCISD choose to programs to cut money from? I understand choosing a department because they think it will work, but sometimes you have to reassess when you realize it was not the right choice. We're pleading with your help to take this seriously and give attention to the work required for this program and address the needs of students who deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Molly Menz.
Hello, my name is Molly Minzy, and I'm a freshman at Clear Lake High School. I've been singing choir since elementary school. It has been a great influence on me as a person. Here's what choir has done for me. It has brought me together with other people. We've developed long friendships through singing. We all know schools don't want kids to vape, and I've got great news. None of my choir friends are vaping. They want to protect their lungs. Choir has also strengthened my lungs and increased my white blood cells. This year I joined track, and my lungs were ready to go from day one because I give them a workout every day in choir. Studies show that choir helps improve memory and reading skills. People who sing in choir tend to sleep better and have better mental health. Many of our songs come from other parts of the world, so choir also increases our knowledge of foreign languages. Being in choir has taught me a lot of the core values that we practice in CCISD, one of the main ones being responsibility. The students are held to a standard where we practice at home and even have after-school rehearsals. We know it's our job to have extra practice so that we can go the extra mile together. We practice citizenship every day by being a member of the choir. We have hard days as singers where not everything goes correctly, but we learn to be more patient. On those days, we know we have to agree on decisions about how we sing. Not only does this take citizenship, but also problem-solving skills. Every time we have a choir concert, we practice respect by sitting quietly in the audience as we watch our peers sing. We have learned audience etiquette that a lot of people our age still haven't learned. As you can see, choir is a great thing. However, in my classroom, we have girls who have special needs. These girls often don't get their needs met, as we have a class of 33 students. This leads to disruptions in our class that cause everyone to stop what they are doing while we wait for them to calm down. This leaves my class with no time to have individual feedback from our teacher, so it's hard for our choir to come together as a group. Having an assistant to our choir would make a huge difference in the way our choir functions as a group. I hope that you would consider hiring an assistant director for choir. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just go back one more time to David Lockard. Okay. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who provided community input this evening. And that concludes our section of community input. The next item on our agenda is action on closed session items.
Mr. President,
Ms. Cheka?
I move to approve the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt a resolution authorizing the sale of 2.788 acres for the purchase of a right-of-way and easement to the city of Webster.
Thank you, Ms. Cheka. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item B.
Mr. President,
Mr. Cunningham.
I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation for high school principal, Mrs. Shannon Simons.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any comments, questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Dr. Engel?
Yes, thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome Ms. Simons into the Clearview family. She will be principal of Clearview High School. And prior to working at the Education Support Center as the Executive Director for Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Simons held several leadership positions in the district, including principal at Brookside Intermediate, assistant principal at League City Intermediate, and science instructional coach at Clear Falls High School. So we are very excited. I'm confident she will continue the support and the excellent work that the teachers and staff are doing following Ms. Speaks at Clearview. We're excited about that change. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Next, item C. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Mr. Larson?
I move that the Board of Trustees authorize the Board President to execute the amendment to the superintendent's contract as discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Before we open it up to comments, I would like just to share a little bit of background. Thank you, Mr. Larson. So for the audience, last month the board completed Dr. Engel's first year superintendent evaluation and awarded her an overall outstanding rating. It is customary for school boards to offer superintendents a raise after such a positive performance evaluation. However, true to her character, Dr. Engel requested the board refrain from offering any increase in compensation due to the financial constraints facing the district. The board's confidence in Dr. Engel's performance also included a request to extend her contract from 3 years to 5 years, taking her contract through December of 2027. The opportunity to extend Dr. Engel's contract provides continuity and assurance during what we know will be a challenging and formative time for public education across the state of Texas and definitely here in Clear Creek ISD. And so I wanted to offer that as context to our audience and wanted to open it up to trustees for any comments that they would like to make.
Mr. President.
Ms. Cheka?
From the board and from our district, I can't say thank you enough to Dr. Engel for everything that she's done, for her service and dedication to our students. You really represent our people, purpose, and promise. And she connects with all the students and the staff and the community. Every decision she makes, I feel like truly is for the students. And as everybody can see, this is one of those. She understands the financial hard times that our district, as well as others across the state, are battling, and she's going to do her part to make sure that CCISD offers a first-class education to all of our students. And so you are the true definition of a leader, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cheka. Mr. Bone?
Mr. President, I guess I'll say Dr. Engel. I mean, it has been a pleasure working with you this whole time since you agreed to come out of retirement in interesting circumstances for the district, and just as soon as you came on board, I mean, it was like a night and day change, and I just can't say enough how impressed I've been, and I'm sure how the other board members have been. You'll hear a lot of we echo on all of these things but in how things have gone, and we've had challenges that have not been easy, and I'm sure we'll face more. But I just think it means so much to the community and to the district that you have such a long history here and relationships you can draw on, and in the evaluation process. I mean, those are behind closed doors, obviously, and there's a lot that gets talked about. It's not an easy process ever, and we go through all of the targets and domains that we use to evaluate a superintendent, and but it just kind of struck me after going through that process that even in the areas where we're looking forward to even higher performance in the years to come. Just the openness of the discussion and the positivity of it was truly great to be part of. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you'll be here even longer. But it truly has been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Mr. Cunningham.
I'm going to read when Dr. Engel came on board and some of the remarks I made that night. The consummate professional, Dr. Engel, has helped the district reset and refocus on our people. Our purpose, to provide a world-class education to all of our students and provide opportunities for them to discover their individual talents and strengths, and our promise to our community that each student will exemplify integrity while actively learning, serving, and leading. She understands our culture of innovation and excellence and has the vision to help the district guide us into the future. Anyone that has dealt with Dr. Engel knows that she will research a topic of concern, consult various people in regards to the subject at hand, and then render her decision or recommendation. I find this trait unique, as she does not work in silos, but she draws others into helping craft that decision. That's leadership. Dr. Engel is a product of the district, having gone to Clear Lake City Elementary, Webster Intermediate, and Clear Lake High School. Her own children have graduated from district schools, and now her grandchildren are currently attending our district schools, which makes her invested in our community. Professionally, Dr. Engel has taught in Friendswood, been an assistant principal or principal in Santa Fe, Pearland, and Clear Creek. I remember like yesterday watching her interact with the community, her students when she was a principal at Clear Lake High School, to becoming our assistant superintendent of secondary education. And that was just some of my remarks. But then I just want to say thank you for coming out of retirement. As I mentioned before, you could be doing something completely different. In fact, you were. You were traveling the country, living up retirement, as they say, like you should, seeing the world. So I also want to take the time to thank Mike for sharing you with us and letting you come back. So when you break the news to him, I got to hear that story. But just can't thank you enough, as everyone's going to say. Just, ecstatic that we have you for another 3 years.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Strong.
So I guess I'll go next, right? We'll just go down the line. Echoes, of course, all around to everything that they've said. And, the date, July 12th, 2021, just still rings in my head. That was your first day in the new role, but of course, not quite the official, but it was a very important date for the district. And ever since then, I feel like things have just continued to get better and better and better. Transparency, is one of those important things. It's interesting that Trustee Cunningham used the words world class, because recently we passed a new vision statement that included the words world class. And that's something that we want to strive for, and you're that leader. You will get us there, and we actually are already there in many ways, robotics being one of them that people around the world are asking how we do things. But truly, to the vision statement about empowering the students, everything you do, everything you can to try to make sure that the teachers and all of the staff have all the right tools to truly empower the students to do anything. The sky is the limit, right? It was interesting. I asked my 11-year-old last night. I said, what would you like to say to the superintendent if you could talk to her? And she said, tell her that you are the best, and thank you for helping the kids and for being a superstar. And that's typically something we say about the kids, right? They are the superstars, but you are their superstar, right? They look up to you. Your staff, I believe, for the most part, right, looks up to her. We hope so, right? Because your words tonight, even you said we move forward together. We're a team of 8, right? There are 7 trustees, but we're a team of 8, and everything we do is to better the district, and we want to better the students, the staff, and the community. And we really make that a priority for all of us. And you make us a priority. And thanks again, Mike, for allowing her to be here. I actually, thinking about this, and I started to count the number of days, right, that we're adding on to this. Simply said, it's 10 more graduations. But thank you for putting that service over self, right? We are elected to sit in this position, but you said yes to sit in yours, and we appreciate that. Like Trustee Cunningham said, you could have been sitting on a beach somewhere and, on a vacation somewhere, but you've chosen to be here, and we appreciate it. And lastly, while I've made light of this moment, some of y'all in this room may know what this symbolizes, right? So back in January, the teachers were given the option to attend the Saturday Empower to Thrive event. So some of you know what this fork means, right? The lady who spoke, and she said, always carry that fork with you because the best is yet to come, right? And so we have until, 2027 with you, right? We have more time. And so I want everybody to understand that our community, we continue looking forward, and the best is yet to come. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Mr.
I'm gonna correct you real quick. That's 14 graduations.
That's
16 if you count summer graduations.
Exactly.
August.
Exactly.
Well, and there might be you're right, and there might be a playoff team. True. Because we did add a baseball's special graduation.
right.
So
Yep,
I do stand
true,
corrected.
true.
So to be determined.
To be
right?
determined.
So, but thank you.
So when Dr. Engel retired from her position as an assistant superintendent, I was a new trustee. I'd only been here for a few months. Been in the community for years and years and years, but I was new to the inner workings of the district, and I spoke with her there and told her that she had helped me as much as anybody really get what CCISD is all about. I can't think of any other person who really exemplified what the district is and all the special things that it is. I was ecstatic when she agreed to come back, and I really have noticed an amazing turnaround in the district. I would like to share with y'all just one little thing that I put in my evaluation. I'll give you a shortened version of it. And what it is that I've seen the staff respond. And the only reason that anybody would respond to someone the way that they have is if that person brings an amount of authenticity to the role. And that's what I think more than anything else is going to see us through the next couple of years. I'd like to really thank you for being with us and providing real leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. McKay.
I would say that you are one of the most authentic and genuine leaders I've ever met. We're lucky to have you. I feel like it's a role that you were literally born for. And so we're glad to wrap you up for another, well, somebody else can do the math, but until 2027. So thank you. And I think it's, you aren't shying away from the tough conversations, the tough challenges. And, it's been said, you could be sitting on a beach, sipping on some nice little drink, but you're here and you're fighting the good fight. So thank you.
Y'all need to quit talking that up so much.
How about if we take a vote first? With no other comments from the board, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. Thank you, and it passes unanimous. Dr. Engel, I know that our community knows that one of the most important roles and responsibilities of any school board is our collaborative work with the superintendent to function as a team of 8. From day one, you've been purposeful to listen to students, teachers, staff, campus and district administrators, and community members to understand how we are meeting their needs and to better inform areas of improvement. You've remained focused on improving student performance, supporting teachers in instruction, taking necessary steps to navigate challenging budget forecasts, and maintaining open lines of communication, while also prioritizing long-term strategic and aspirational planning, critical for fostering a world-class district. Thank you for your tireless work and belief in making CCISD the brightest shining star in our community. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, and I am certainly honored to extend my service here in the district. I really appreciate the comments, and was thinking, we move forward together. Collaboration. And I look around, that's what this team over here, we are literally together, all principals that are here. It's a collaborative group, and of course trustees. So it is just my honor to serve. Think about the more than 40,000 children and their families, and that's just a reminder of how important our work is every day. And I'm glad you mentioned the STAR. I'm a big fan of the CCISD STAR. It's our North Star, and it really represents the opportunities for every child to achieve, contribute, and lead with integrity. But, and somebody mentioned, go beyond. We can help them reach for the stars, and that is our goal. That is our job as we work together. And I believe, and I had written this down, it's kind of interesting in thinking through that the STAR holds the promise to empower every student to a world-class education, and that is what the tool that they need to ignite their passion and fuel their endeavors. And that's where we're going, and that is that STAR. It symbolizes it to me every time I see it. So anyway, and going back to the people part, and you mentioned that, really, it's only possible with people. We're in the people business, and we do it for our children, but we are only as strong as our people. And that's who we are, the nearly 5,000 employees working together, committing their talents to the promise that this STAR becomes a reality for our children. And so I guess I don't consider a job, I've said it to y'all, I consider it a calling. And I'm really humbled to be able to continue to work with this amazing board of trustees, cabinet, staff, principals, the entire district. It's just an honor to work in Clear Creek ISD, where I went to school. So it's an honor to be here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Thank you. And thank you also to Cabinet for their continued role and support as we continue to strive for better things in CCISD. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Our next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone would like to pull?
Mr. President,
Mr. Bowen?
could I pull item number 6, which is the unopposed candidate certification, and item 17, which is the planning and decision-making process?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other items?
Mr. President, I'd like to pull number 18. The interdistrict transfers.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other items? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the items in the consent agenda with the exceptions of items number 6, 17, and 18.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. That passes unanimous. Thank you. First item that was pulled, item 6.
Yes, so this is the certification of unopposed candidates, and I'm not opposed to that at all. Obviously, I'm glad y'all are unopposed. It's just, I think the only opportunity I had to ask about something else that came up in the district update, which is the election locations. So I understand the reasoning for moving to Clearbrook High School from Westbrook Intermediate for early voting, but what I'm concerned about is not having Clearbrook High School as a location for election day. Can you speak to that at all?
Yes, so we actually had a conversation trying to decide if we should keep it at Clearbrook or keep it at Westbrook, and we felt like because we had initially set it up that way with the election day site at Westbrook, that we should just maintain it as is. So we could have done it at Clearbrook, but we decided to move it. And we were really under a tight deadline because we had to translate and get the notice published as well, so.
Okay, so it's not possible to just add Clearbrook as a third election location, especially because of the cancellation. We originally planned to staff for several locations, and then obviously most of those will not be needed. So there's no way to just add it as a third location?
I need to check to see if we've can do that after because of the deadlines with our election notice. So I can certainly check on it. Historically, the election day counts have not been as high in that district alone. So we didn't feel like we needed to have a third location. We felt like 2 locations would be sufficient. We also have each location has certain precincts within District 4 that are going to each of those locations. So I'm not sure at this point if we can modify that further, but I can definitely check on that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that part didn't occur to me, the fact that people are assigned to a specific.
Yes.
And are those assignments already published?
They are undergoing, we're in the process of translating, and we are publishing our notice, I believe it's next week.
Okay.
So it just takes a while to get it. We have to get it translated, and then it takes time to get it to the paper needs a certain amount of time to meet those deadlines as well.
Because if I remember right, last time we had districted elections in this district, the 2 locations, the east side of the district didn't exist yet. It was still part of District 3. And so voters could go to either Clearbrook, or they were assigned to either Clearbrook or Westbrook. And so there were 2 locations on the west side of the highway. But I mean, I'm thinking of Precinct 7, kind of the Weber Elementary area. That's a pretty far, or Pearland and Green Tea, that kind of area. It's a pretty far drive to go all the way down to Westbrook, especially because the ones that live in Pearland also have to go to Tom Reed Library that day, which is in Brazoria County off the Beltway, in order to vote in their Pearland elections. So that's kind of why I'm concerned about the distance there.
We did look back at, and I don't have the historical data in front of me, but Westbrook, I guess because it's been used historically so much, there's been a larger turnout at Westbrook than there even was at Clearbrook during in that district.
Thanks.
My only comment is, given the historically low turnout in the western part of that district, that, and I know you're going to do this, but I really would ask you to pay special attention to publicizing the election and making sure the voters are aware that there is an election and where to vote on what day.
Absolutely.
Ms. Benzai, could you speak to that just a little bit about the information that's been updated on the website and where voters can access information about whether they're in the district that is eligible to vote, and just to ensure that their address matches that?
Right. So the information will be posted on our website. I believe we're also, we'll send out a notice to the registered voters in that District 4, so they're aware of the information as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we going to use the program again that was used a couple of years ago, where someone can type in their address and look up and see if they are which location to go to?
Yes, we're
Okay.
working with technology to get that
Perfect.
up and running.
And then I know Mr. Bowen mentioned this, but also just for the voters to know that this election is going to be a little bit different because we're needing to vote. We're needing to handle all of the election within the district, and so ensuring that the community is aware of that. It was not something that we intended to do because we had been focusing on having the county manage our elections, and so just wanting to make sure that the public is aware, saying it as often as we can, and making sure that that is apparent to the voters, I think will be really important. It can be challenging. We are very close to it, and so we think about it differently, but ensuring that voters know where to go to access information, our ability to put the word out, and ensuring that they understand that the decision for the district to run the election was not something that we chose. It was something that the county informed us that they would not be able to support the election this time. And so I think it's really important because anything that is different can be confusing, and it can be perceived in different ways, and it's really better for us to ensure that all voters understand what our plan is, and getting the word out as often as possible will be key.
Yeah, and you mentioned the county election. There is also a county election going on that day. The county is holding an election for the appraisal district election. So there are some voters who will have to go to 3 different places to vote in all of their elections on May 4th. So just making sure people realize that is going to be important.
Mr. Cunningham?
I was just going to say, thinking about it, and, because it is a district election, and since, Brooke is that feeder pattern, I'm all for making sure that on election day, that Brooke is open, and available regardless of what the past history might have been. I think that that's only fair, right? If that was a voting location in the past, that remained so for this election, and especially since that's the only election.
Yeah.
I mean,
and what makes it tough is when we run the election on election day, we can't have polling centers, and so you are assigned based on your precinct to, like, if we open a location at Brooke, then the people who are zoned, so there will be precincts that are zoned to vote only at Brooke, and then there will also be precincts that are zoned to vote at Westbrook. And so, again, there's going to be confusion there, because anyone can go there on early voting, but on election day, only some people will be assigned to Brooke. I do think it would be useful. I remember in an election several years back, it may have been mine, my first one, we had the ESC as an early voting location, and then it was not an election day voting location. And so there were people showing up on election day wanting to vote and not realizing that it wasn't a location. So I think no matter what we do, probably at the ESC and at Clearbrook High School, there needs to be signage or something letting people know this is not a polling location. Go to ccisd.net/elections to find your polling location, just so people know. Because
Absolutely.
there will be people showing up at Brooke.
Right. We are required to do that, to
to post that signage, so that will be out there. I can check to see if it's the desire to not use Westbrook on Election Day, but use Clearbrook instead, then I need to see where we are in the timeline to see if we can make that switch. But if that's what
That might
board
be,
desires,
that might end up being
then
better. If you've got to do
if
one or
I
the
have
other.
enough time to make that swap, I can definitely check on that.
I was just going to add, if you're going to put up signage, put up something at Brookside as well, saying this is not a polling place, because it has been in the past.
Think any other comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Bowen?
I move that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent to certify the unopposed candidates in single-member District 5 and at-large position A.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you. Next item 17.
Yeah, and I think we will, this is that first read for BQ Local, Planning and Decision-Making Process. And so Dr. Henley and Ms. Sarmechanic will talk through that. This is something we had talked about at our policy committee meeting, and appreciate the opportunity to discuss this.
Thanks. And yeah, I guess could you just give a little bit of overview of kind of what went into this policy and
Absolutely, absolutely. So we had an opportunity to talk about this at the policy committee meeting in March. We started with a review of over 20, I think 22 other Region 4 school districts and their BQ local policies. None of them, except for one, Humble ISD, had any language in their policy addressing program evaluation. And when I reached out to Humble ISD, where I previously actually worked, I was informed that they have not been implementing the language that is in their BQ local for over 8 years now. And the language that's in our policy very much mirrors that. Former employee at CCISD previously worked at Fort Bend, and Humble had taken that language. So that language is really there but not being followed. And so Dr. Henley had the opportunity in her role, to look at it, at the language, and think about, what is accurate. The board has expressed a real desire to have very clear definitions of what programs are. And so the recommendation for the revised language is to make very clear what the definitions are of instructional programs, support programs, that there are program evaluations, gauges, and reviews, different levels of types of reviews. And then recommended putting language into administrative regulation that details the evaluation cycle, the design, et cetera, really language that is more appropriate for an administrative regulation rather than for policy. And so that will be called BQ2 regulation. And so we had a really fruitful conversation in the policy committee about that and the new language and regulation, and then also coming up with a list of programs. That is something that the board has been asking about, and the administration is committed to providing that to the board by June.
and do we have language? Do we have language ready yet for that BQ2 regulation, or is that?
Yes, sir. That was presented to the policy committee and sent out for 10-day review, but I can make sure that you get that if you didn't receive that. So that was provided to the board as part of the 10-day review memo. So that was shared at the same time alongside BQ Local.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bone. Any other questions? Okay, I'll entertain the motion.
Scroll back up to it.
And this is actually just for a first reading. Yeah, it's acceptance. It does, it's going to come for a second reading for actual approval on it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McKay.
All right, Mr. President.
Mr. Bone?
I move that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent to accept the first reading Okay, I'll rephrase that. I move that we accept the first reading of BQ local planning and decision-making process, recognizing that acceptance of the first reading does not constitute approval of the policy, and that staff plans to bring to the board for consideration a second reading of a version of the proposed policy for approval. It's been a while since we've done that language.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor will raise your right hand. Thank you, and it passes unanimous. Next item is item 18 that was pulled.
Yeah, and I don't so much have a question about this or a concern. If I do have a concern, it's that this is something that just sort of evades the public notice because it is on the consent agenda and fairly well down in the consent agenda. And I think the community would like to know about this as we consider it. And I realize this is only a first reading as well. And what I'd like to say about it is that as the district is faced with declining enrollment, this is, I think, a really inspired, it's inspired by the House Bill 1959 and 2892, which was all about enforcing agreements that were already in place to allow the children of peace officer and service members to attend districts outside, away from where they resided. And we don't have any such agreements, and I think Mr. Mechanic would probably tell us that she's not aware of any such agreements anywhere in the state. But this is, I think, a clever way to pull in additional students to boost our enrollment and bring with them their basic allotment to help our budget out. And it's doing our peace officers and our service members a big favor, and I think the community would approve of that. So I just wanted to simply bring that to notice, and I'll wait for other comments, and I'll be happy to make a motion if there are none.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Anything, Mr. Mechanic, that you want to just mention about that?
We had a good conversation about this at the policy committee meeting, and because of the unlikelihood of being able to get those agreements in place, the existing law really we wouldn't be able to follow without an agreement. The Board of Trustees of an adjoining school district to how the ADA would be divided or between school districts. And so by adding this language to policy, in effect, we get the benefit of what was intended by those two House bills to enable service members and peace officers to have their children attend whichever school district they would like. And so by adding this to policy, we'll be able to further extend our limited open enrollment policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mechanic. Mr. Bell?
Yeah, the only thing I would add, and maybe this is something that could be considered between the first reading and the second reading, like next time we vote on this, is are there any other groups that are kind of along the same lines who would maybe also be able to benefit from this that we could include? My thoughts go toward first responders, right? Emergency service workers, like people who fill a community need and keep us safe, but maybe don't fit in that exact definition of peace officer or service member. And I know, like, League City has a volunteer fire department, and some of that fire department is, like, some of them might work every day within CCISC and help keep us safe, but live in parts of League City that are outside of district boundaries. So, and a Pasadena Fire Department as well within CCISC. So it's very possible that there are people who volunteer and serve within our district who still would not be eligible under this policy, but maybe we could expand it to include them as well.
We can certainly have that conversation at the April Policy Committee and discuss that and bring any additional or revised language back for the second reading.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the first reading of FDA local with the understanding that this does not constitute approval of the policy, and that we'll be seeing it at a second reading. It's at a future date.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. And it passes unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mechanic. Next item on our agenda is item B, approval of the use of capital project funds for facility-related projects.
Okay. Mr. Aragon will lead us in that discussion. Thank you.
Good evening. Capital project funds totaling $791,285.55 requested for facility-related projects. So we have 3 requests here. The first one will be to utilize bonds 2017 savings and interest totaling $55,969.55 to repair the elevator at the Technology Learning Center. Currently, it is no longer working, and we need a controller for it to be operational. So that is the cost to get a new controller and get the elevator operational. The second request is to utilize the remaining Victory Lakes TERS Fund totaling $235,316 for facility-related critical infrastructure projects. We're no longer getting TERS funds, so basically the TERS is done, and we would request that we basically close that account and move that money into Victory Lakes, which it has to stay in to do critical infrastructure repairs. And then the third item we have will be to utilize bonds 2017 savings and interest totaling $500,000 to replenish the support services repair contingency fund. Basically, this is for preventative maintenance and making critical repairs. We're anticipating again that we're going to be going back into the hotter weather, and we still have some equipment that may need some immediate attention, including transportation with buses and air conditioning. Ed's team did a really good job, and Dwayne's team did a really good job for the last contingency that we received in September of making sure that everything got fixed. But now that contingency's been depleted, and we're just requesting an additional $500,000 as a contingency fund.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President?
Mr. Cottrell?
I move that we approve the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the use of capital project funds in the amount of $285.55 for the facility-related projects.
Thank you, Mr. Cottrell. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you. And next item on the agenda is approval of adoption of the FY 24-25 budget goals, assumptions, and priorities.
Okay, and each year the board meets to develop the goals, assumptions, and priorities that will drive the upcoming budget process. And the board discussed the budget priorities at the March 4th workshop, and modifications were made to the document based on your feedback. And our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Benzai, will provide the updated document for discussion.
Okay, so we've incorporated your feedback from the workshop, and we have the revisions listed up here. So our budget goal this year is a 24-25 budget will further CCISD's mission and strategic plan with financial integrity, maximizing benefits from available resources. Our assumptions, budget assumptions are listed as well. I won't go through each one of those. We have the first one remain the same, that we'll utilize our resources efficiently and effectively. We will retain our 5% local homestead exemption and maximize our 8 enrichment pennies and incorporate expenditure reduction savings and revenue enhancements. We're also using a realistic average daily attendance based on our demographer's report of enrollment loss of 320 students using our final 23-24 attendance rate. We also included to meet budget requirements without accessing more than 20% of capital and contingency reserve funds. and continue to maintain an adequate general fund balance as defined as 2 months in fund balance in board policy. Our board budget priorities are also provided here as well. We'll continue to provide optimal and targeted levels of funding and staffing for improved student achievement. We have to administer competitive salaries, stipends, and benefits for all employees. Continue to fund our Safe and Secure Schools program, including student support and counseling services. We will increase state revenues through continuation of district initiatives that promote student attendance. We will implement initiatives to provide enrollment growth opportunities, leverage excess reserves and existing funds for financial support to meet current budget challenges. We will review efficiencies in programs and human capital to achieve cost savings and explore facility utilization efficiencies. And finally, we always like to acknowledge our budget challenges. That includes our student enrollment, or ADA, comes in below projections. Inflationary impacts that we've seen in the past of fuel, property, casualty insurance, and other commodities. Inadequate funding to meet our needs of our students. Inability to recruit and retain quality staff. And potential risk of sustainability of current programs in future budget years, and also spending required by unfunded state and federal mandates. So I will be happy to answer any questions you may have about that.
Thank you, Ms. Benzai. Any questions from the board? Comments?
Mr. President,
Mr. Cunningham?
I just wanted to thank Alice for the work that you have put into this and being patient with us as we, make our various requests and everything. The information you provide is always right on time. So please thank staff for, running through different scenarios for us and things of that nature.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments, questions?
I would just say I'd like to commend the swift and appropriate response to the comments you got at the workshop. Very well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larson. Seeing no other comments, I'll just also express our thanks, Ms. Benzai. I think never, at least during the time that I've served on the board for almost the last 7 years, have the budget priorities been as critical as they will be to really guide and inform the decisions that we make based on some of the challenges that we know we're facing ahead. And so we're thankful for the work that Cabinet and for district staff that they're making and steps they're taking to ensure that to the greatest extent possible, we're looking for any possible savings to help us as we navigate the next year. And so we knew that was going to be a challenge. We were thankful to the voters who supported the Vader, recognizing that that helped us this year. But we do know that next year will definitely be a challenging environment. And so this will be extremely helpful. So thank you. With no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Cunningham.
I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation to approve the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget goals, assumptions, and priorities.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, if you'll raise your right hand. It passes unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Benzai. And with no further business before the board, I'll adjourn us at 8:46.